Hello and welcome to this yoga journey through your female cycle. I'm really glad that you could join us here today, and hopefully you're going to learn a powerful way to harness your hormones through the amazing holistic practice of yoga. This session is brought to you today by both myself, KYK, and LUUNA Naturals, a social impact period care company. And together we share the belief that the infradian rhythm, the science behind it, is the ultimate biohack to achieving the best for the female body. So, beginning our yoga workshop today, I want you to find a comfortable seated position, anywhere that you can sit, with the sit bones firmly connected to the ground and the crown of the head, the very top of your skull, reaching up towards the ceiling. So you feel this lengthening down the neck, and as well as the grounding, the shoulders rolling back and down towards the earth. Take a second to be comfortable. And then when you're ready, go ahead and close down the eyes. We'll begin first by arriving in the present moment. That is the power behind a yoga practice. It's that ability to be present, to check in honestly with how we feel. Just noticing the gentle inhales and exhales as they float around the body, becoming aware of your breath. And whilst we take a second to calm our mind and body, come into this present moment, we'll take a second to explain this beautiful workshop for you. So, in recent years, we've seen a shift towards wellness, and the modern woman is on the lookout for biohacks, quick fixes like fad diets, high intensity trainings, which are seen as super efficient methods of keeping healthy. But these can be exhausting, and even so, we push ourselves to continue these methods all month round, even when our energy levels are at the lowest, already consumed by the miracle of life that is menstruation. And let's not lie, it is exhausting. So why do we push ourselves? Well, we tell ourselves that the evidence is all there. Science says that consistency works. But so much of this research is based upon the circadian rhythm. What's that? Well, it's the natural rhythm which is present in all men, no surprise, all children, and menopausal women, so women post-menstruation. So that means for 3 decades, the female body moves to a slightly different cyclical rhythm, which is divisible into 4 distinct stages. Each stage is different in characteristics, hormone release, and energy levels. So no wonder new research is emerging, suggesting that by forcing biohacks like fasting upon the female body all month round, we're actually applying an excess level of stress onto the body. And this can actually result in the opposite of the desired outcome. For more information on this new emerging research, I urge you to check out the Broken Brain podcast, which I will definitely link you to in the section below this video. It's amazing to hear the science that is emerging around this topic, and in fact that if we tailor our exercise to our infradian rhythm, this cyclical rhythm which exists in the female body for 3 decades, then we are doing exactly as yoga teaches us to do, which is to check in with the self. Check in with what's going on internally at that present moment. And actually, in that sense of checking in, we're able to harness the full power of our hormones that day that we find ourselves on the mat. And get the most out of your body all month round by tailoring this exercise to reflect the energy levels that we have within us. This is the ultimate biohack, so you can forget that intermittent fasting, you can forget pushing yourself to do the high intensity training. This science is so powerful that in fact the entire female soccer team in the US are now trained according to their own individual infradian rhythm, which is just amazing. So today we'll venture through your cycle. We'll take around 10 to 15 minutes in each distinct stage of your cycle to show you how you can tailor your yoga practice to most benefit you all month round. So, I guess the ironic thing about this workshop is, as menstruating women, we will all be at our own point of our cycles. But I want you to imagine that your period has just ended. You're in stage 1 of your cycle. This is known as the follicular flow. Spanning around 7 to 10 days, your hormones are still low, but your period has ended. And on an energetic level, this might make you more open to new experiences, feeling perhaps extra creative. We can use this energy to become more playful with our practice. So just beginning to come back to the breath now. As we start to move into movement, I want you to first begin by deepening the inhales. Feeling that belly expand, maybe the rib cage just rise as you bring the breath all the way up to your collarbones, as if you're filling yourself up full capacity. Then exhale, releasing everything we don't need. Nice. One more breath like that. Big inhale, belly expands. And exhale, letting go of everything we don't need. Brilliant. Blinking the eyes open. We'll inhale, roll the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, slide them away. The chest moves forwards as the shoulders roll down. One more, just like that. Inhale, roll the shoulders high up to the ears. And exhale, slide them away. Beautiful. Coming into an all fours position. So just sliding whatever prop we had off to one side. We'll come into that all fours position on our yoga mat, checking that the hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. Closing down the eyes again. We're going to build that connection with the body by taking any intuitive movements that feel good for you. So we want to get out of this idea of a rigid practice. The beauty of yoga is the art of adaptation. This is your practice, your time, so you can do whatever you need to reflect your body. And that is what dictating our exercise by our infradian rhythm is teaching us to do. So it doesn't have to be yoga. Remember, we're in that creative stage of our cycle. So what moves can you do that feel good? Maybe it's a wiggle of the hips. Maybe it's a snaking of the spine. Gentle rolling out of the head, gentle shake yes, gentle shake no. We're just warming up the body here in all sorts of directions. It definitely doesn't have to be yoga, but if you want to drop the hips and lift the chest, be my guest. And if you want to send the hips backing down, then of course, move in a way which serves you. After you've taken a couple of movements around the mat, the spine feels like it's warmer, the hips feel like they're in use. We'll start to create rippling shapes with the spine. So pausing in our tabletop position, we'll send the hips back and down so the hips meet the feet. We're in that child pose position with the arms stretched out in front. The forehead rests onto the ground. Breathing in, sighing out. Nice, not forgetting that breath. As we inhale, I want you to keep the weight onto the forearms, dropping the belly low, the gaze is up, coming up onto the hands. We find ourselves in that cow belly. As we exhale, we'll press through the hands, ripple through the spine, arching the back, finding that cat back shape. And then continuing the exhale, sending the hips back down to the ground. So a spinal wave, moving like the ocean here. Nice creative movement with the body. As we snake and slide, rippling the spine, undulating. Inhale, belly is low, lifting the gaze, spreading the collarbones wide. Exhale, press through the hands, arch the back, dip the tailbone as we send the hips back and down. Nice. One more wave. Moving in time to your breath. Maybe it's nice and slow and controlled. Maybe it's a bit faster, more fluid. When you're next in your child's pose, you'll pause, resting for a moment, breathing in and sighing out. So it's always good to keep your passengers awake. So we'll now reverse the direction of that flow. As we inhale, we'll press into the hands, keep the back nice and arched, finding that cat back. As you exhale, this time we'll drop the belly, smile the collarbones forward, lift the gaze, and lower down onto the forearms as we send the hips back and down into that child's pose. Nice. So staying creative in the sense that we're changing up the direction of our flow. Inhale, come up high into that cat back. Exhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, lowering onto the forearms as you almost reverse into that child's pose position. One more reverse final wave as you inhale, coming up high. Exhale, lowering the belly, lifting the gaze, spreading the collarbones wide as you bow down and reverse into that child's pose. Nice. One more bit of a creative twist into the flow. So it's nice to play around with your sense of balance. It's a great one when we're feeling a bit more playful with our practice to test our limits of our stability. So we'll take this into a simple thread the needle. Weight is into the left arm as we inhale, reach that right arm up to the sky, opening the chest. Exhale, thread the needle, threading it underneath that left arm, resting the right side of the face onto the ground. Creeping the left arm forward, the fingertips will be in touch with the earth, but the arm will hover away from the ground. So we've got this nice stretch on the left hand shoulder. Tucking the left toes under, we'll extend the left leg back. And this is where the balance comes in. We're going to keep the twist in the upper body, but turn on the core as we begin to hover that left leg away from the ground. You might come up to 30 degrees, you might come a bit higher. Just play around with your limits here. And if you fall over, then hopefully there'll be a big smile on your face. It's only yoga. Breathing in, breathing out. One more inhale. And exhale, we'll float that left knee back down to the ground. Walk the left hand back under the left shoulder to press into it and release the right arm high to the sky. Lovely. Exhale, hand comes down to the ground. We'll do the same on the other side. So take the weight into the right hand. As we inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky, opening the chest. Exhale, thread the needle, lowering the left side of the face onto the ground. Brilliant. And again, taking the options with the other side. So walking the right arm forward, fingertips come in touch with the ground. The arm will hover away. You can tuck the right toes under and extend that leg back. So already you might feel like we're balancing here. The knee is moved. To take it extra further, then you can begin to float that leg away from the ground. And you can play around with the different degrees of height here. Going super high for that extra challenge. Keeping the twist in that top body. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, Exhale, right knee comes back under the hip. So the legs are nice and back in their position. Walk that right arm back under the right shoulder. Press into the right hand and release the left arm high, open the chest. And exhale, hand comes back down to the ground. Lovely. Bring the knees out wide, big toes to touch. We'll send the hips back and down. We're into that classical child's pose. But again, playing around with creativity, different shapes. We'll bend at the elbows, palms will meet, and the hand will rest on the nape of the neck. It's a nice variation for our child's pose because it helps get into that top body as well as stretching out the back. We'll stay here and breathe, connecting to your breath in your child's pose. So we now move on to stage 2 of our flow. Stage 2 of your cycle, the ovulation stage. So lasting around 3 to 5 days. This is prime time for burning off excess energy. It's perfect for that fiery practice of vinyasa or ashtanga, anything that we can do to help stimulate the body. This is when you're at your most active. So preparing for the more active part of our workshop today. Begin to deepen the breath. So maybe whilst you're in this child's pose, you can feel the back body almost inflate with the inhales. Gathering up this energy. On your next exhale, we'll unbend the elbows and lower the hands back down to the ground. Bringing the palms in touch with the earth. We'll inhale, come up to our all-fours position. Tuck the toes under, lift up and back. Find your downward facing dog. So we'll make this nice and soft to begin with. It's probably your first downward dog of today, certainly of the workshop. So we're bending the knees here, pedaling the feet. Head is nice and heavy, maybe rocking from side to side. And then we'll really set up this pose. So press down through all 10 fingertips. Gently relax the head. So no need to look forward here. The gaze is towards your belly button, if anything. Rolling the tops of the arms, the triceps towards the ground and spreading the shoulders across your back. Breathing in, reaching the sacrum up to the sky. And exhale, finding some comfort in this ironic resting pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Taking a twist into our downward dog. So we're starting to really build the energy now. We'll lift up the right hand and reach it towards the left ankle. Maybe you can grab hold of it and bend into that right elbow to rotate and look underneath the left armpit. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale. Exhale, right hand comes back down to the ground. Nice. Take a breath in your down dog. Breathing in and sighing out. Ready to load up that right hand now as we hover the left arm and bring it to the outside of the right ankle. Again, you can maybe bend into this left arm to rotate underneath the right armpit. Looking underneath there. Feeling a twist into the thoracic spine, the mid-back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale, left hand comes back down to the ground. Nice. On your next inhale, we'll reach that right leg up to the sky, finding your three-legged dog. Pointing with the toes, reaching high with the leg on your inhale. Exhale, crunch. The knee will find the nose under the body, hollowing out. Looking forward, stepping that foot up to the top of the mat. We'll press back through the heel and lower the knee to the ground. Nice, so higher energy as always with this section of our flow, reaching up high and exhale, float the arms down. Nice, inhale, reach the arms high. This time as we exhale, we'll twist left arm in front, right arm back. Nice, so twists are always a great way to find that inner fire, building heat from the inside out. On your next inhale, we'll reach the left arm up to the sky, right arm comes to the lower leg. Feeling that lengthening down the side of the left hip flexor. Inhale and exhale. Inhale Exhale, left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. Hands meet in the prayer, and we'll use this connection, knee to elbow, to really use as a lever to twist that spine. Breathing in, breathing out, keeping the breath going. So twists are often brilliant for detoxifying as well, keeping that deep breath moving. When you unravel yourself from the twist, you find yourself pumping out everything we don't need, making space for the new. To intensify here, we can tuck the toes under and lift up to our high lunge prayer. Brilliant. Pressing back through that back left ankle. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Looking down at the right foot. On your next inhale, we'll step that back foot forwards. So we arrive in a low twisted chair. Releasing the arms, we'll inhale, keep the knees bent as we reach the arms up to the sky. So we're sending the tailbone down to the ground. Checking we can see all 10 toes. Knees are nicely in line, the chest is reaching up. So our glutes are on fire here. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale. And exhale, hinge from the hips, straighten out the legs as we forward fold. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands to the ground as we jump or step into your plank. Option to move through a vinyasa here if you like, lowering down one step chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, push back. We find ourselves back in that downward facing dog. Breathing in and sighing out. So hopefully you're feeling this fire now. Moving through a fiery vinyasa sequence, so it's perfect for burning off that energy, toning the body. It's a fantastic combination of strength and flexibility. Ready to work the second side, just bring the weight into the right leg, lifting that left leg high to the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, crunch, knee finds the nose under the body, and we're really curving the spine to step that left foot forward in between the hands. Pressing back through that right heel, we'll lower the knee to the ground. Nice, untuck the toes, and as we inhale, we reach up. And exhale, floating down. Movement and breath are connected. As we inhale, reach high. Exhale, twist over to the left-hand side. Right arm in front, left arm is back. Nice. Sucking the tummy in, finding length. And exhale, twisting a tiny bit more. Brilliant. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, reach that right arm up to the sky. Left arm comes behind. Lengthening down that right side of the body now. Breathing deeply into the hips. And exhale, bending at the right elbow, bringing it to the outside of the left knee. Hands will meet in prayer, and we're twisting over to that left-hand side. Again, really using that lever, that connection between the elbow and the knee to twist. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, here we're going to intensify our flow by tucking the toes under and lifting that right knee away from the ground, pressing back through the right heel, nice strong leg. Again, finding the breath, using the breath as a means of continuing and pushing through the fiery practice. Breathing in, breathing out. On your next inhale, look down at that front foot. And again, in one clean step, or maybe a few hops, we'll step forward into that chair pose. Nice. Releasing the arms, reaching up to the sky, finding that trap once again, breathing in, reaching high, and exhale, sitting a bit lower. One more breath in, and exhale, release, forward fold, head comes down to the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, forward fold. Enjoying this forward fold, letting it go. On your next inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands to the ground. We'll step or jump back into your plank. Option to move through a vinyasa. Inhale, lift the chest, finding your upward facing dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. We'll take one breath in together, breathing in And exhale, sighing it out, letting the knees come down to the ground. The knees will be narrow this time, sitting the hips back. Arms come by the side of the body and you can roll the shoulders forward as the head comes down towards the ground. And again, just take some cooling breaths into this child pose position as we are about to move into the third stage of our cycle. Listening to your body becomes very important in this stage, the luteal flow. Lasting 14 days, your hormones are transitioning in preparation for your period. So it's important to balance out the fiery practices of vinyasa and ashtanga, rocket, these more high intensity versions of our yoga practice. And swap these out for more practices that seek to preserve your energy. So this is a great time for yin yoga. It seeks to open the tissues of our body rather than the muscles. So it aims at working your fascia, but rather through doing this through dynamic practice or dynamic stretching, we can only get into our soft tissues through stillness. So it's a fantastic option for nourishing the body through minimal movement. So on your next inhale, I ask you to press into the hands gently by the side of the body to come up to a comfortable position. And then we'll just slide the legs out in front, setting up for our first yin pose, our caterpillar stretch. So it'll be a forward fold, working into the back body along the hamstrings and the lower back. We'll let the feet go nice and floppy. So again, it's not about our muscles, it's about our soft tissue. Feet, maybe the little toes roll out to the side. And then we'll begin to melt the belly forward. So we are leading from the belly up. And as the chest lowers down, we'll begin to round that upper body. The palms are faced up to the ceiling, maybe lying down next to our shins, our legs. You just allow your body to soften. So let the head be nice and heavy. And once you've found yourself in this caterpillar pose, you might understand why it's called caterpillar once you've found the shape yourself. It's important for you to find absolute stillness. The yin poses we hold for around 3 to 8 minutes for some poses. And you really have to commit yourself to the stillness. And it can be a mental challenge as well as a physical challenge. And to make sure that you are first and foremost comfortable. So if you're finding yourself wriggling, then maybe if you grab some cushions and put it in between your chest and your thighs, you might find this position a lot more comfortable for a longer period of time. When we commit to stillness, this is when the mind starts to play its tricks. It says, hey, I don't want to be still. This is uncomfortable, I want to move. But we need to know that we can stick with it. Your comfort is everything. So first and foremost, if you find yourself agonizing, then please pull back. And often props can help make these poses more comfortable. The mind will wander. That is completely natural. Ideas will pop into the mind, but the trick is to try and think of these thoughts as passing clouds.
Passing clouds in the sky of the brain. You can choose whether you engage with these thoughts or engage with these clouds. But the aim of yoga is to allow these thoughts to just float away as easily as they appear. Giving yourself that piece of clarity, that space in your mind to simply breathe. Hopefully helping you dismantle anxieties and stresses that might cloud your mind. And whilst the fiery practices certainly help me maintain that focus on the breath, I feel like when you move into stillness, it's when the challenge of the mind really begins. After a few minutes in a yin pose, you might start to find it become more intense, and that's just because the fascia is slowly unpicking itself. That soft tissue is slowly becoming unstuck. We'll just take a few more minutes, or moments rather, in this caterpillar pose, this first yin stretch. Keeping that breath nice and gentle, nice and natural. On your next inhale, you can breathe deeply into the back body. Maybe bring the palms to face down and gently press into the hands to begin to unpeel the chest, walking the hands back towards you, coming to that upright position. And just take a moment to move however feels nice to you. So maybe a few rolls of the shoulders, maybe a gentle twist of the torso from side to side. So that's what's great in between yin poses when we move into yin sessions. It's really good to just get that body moving. Nice. And then for the next two yin poses, we'll move into a twist. So it's called the cat and tail twist. As we lower onto our spines, dropping onto the back. We'll tuck the right knee into the chest, squeezing the knee in, and then using the left hand, guide that right knee over to the side. So if you feel like it's miles away from the ground, it's also really nice to have a cushion or a pillow underneath that right knee, but don't worry if it's floating. And then bending at the left knee, the left toes will come up towards the seat, and you'll just grip hold of the toes. So this is the cat's tail. And we'll breathe into this twist. So your gaze is up to the sky, or maybe it's over the right hand shoulder. That left hand can stay resting on the left knee. Again, if it's available to you, make sure you do have a pillow underneath that right knee, helping it relax into the ground. We're breathing in, breathing out, staying in this gentle spinal twist, keeping the breath going. Gentle stretch into the quadricep on that left leg as well with your cat's tail. We did some twists in the fiery section of our journey through our cycle today. But twists are also something that we can do in a gentle approach. Twists are super nourishing. It's that idea of compressing the muscles, compressing around the waist as we twist, but keeping that deeply oxygenated breath going.
So there's this build-up of fresh blood that wants to flood into our muscles. And when we release, that is exactly what happens. And as a result, it pumps out everything that's used up, everything that's no longer serving us. It helps us let go of them in a physical way, but relating this to our practice can often help with mental aspects too. Breathing in, breathing out. A couple more breaths in this gentle yin twist. Releasing that left foot, letting the left leg become long once again, and gently guiding that right knee back over to the right hand side. We'll give it a gentle squeeze in. Maybe you want to rock the neck from side to side, releasing out that, and then extending the right leg long. We're ready to repeat on our left side. So tucking the left knee into the chest. Giving it a good squeeze. And then I've got my pillow ready here for the other side as I know it's floating. I'm going to guide my right hand, the knee all the way over. So the knee feels like it's resting onto a pillow. Gaze is up at the ceiling or over through that left arm. And then just as we did on the other side, we'll find that cat's tail by bending in the right knee. And my hand will come and find the right toes. So it's a quadricep stretch as well as a twist into the spine. And we'll find those breaths. Nothing too forced, nothing, don't need an Ujjayi breath, which is the breath we would link to our more fiery vinyasa Ashtanga practices, but conserving that energy, but nourishing the body. And that's what is amazing about yoga, is that you really can just tailor it to your body, your mindset. Your practice asks nothing of you other than that you show up and be present. And I can't think of a better way to be present than relating your practice to your monthly cycle, which can influence our moods on so many levels. Breathing in, breathing out. Remembering that with each thought that comes up, we're able to let go of it with an exhale and return to that focus of the breath. Couple more breaths in this gentle twist. Remembering that stillness really is the key when it comes to our fascia, our soft tissues. One more inhale. And then exhale, release the right foot, extend that leg nice and long once again. We'll tuck that knee into the chest and guide it back over to the left hand side again, moving our prop off to one side. Give it a good squeeze in, and then we'll extend that leg nice and long. And come into our corpse pose, our Shavasana. So allowing the little toes to roll out to one side. Maybe the palms are out wide and you're really taking your space in that starfish, and that's brilliant if you are. Maybe you want to have more contact with the body, so you can rest one hand onto the belly, one hand onto the heart, maybe both hands on the belly. Something that feels natural for you. And then we'll close down the eyes. We're moving into the final stage of our flow. So remaining in your corpse pose. I want you to find your breath. So we're in that fourth and final stage of our cycle. That lasts around 7 days. And the menstrual stage can be exhausting. Exhausting for the body and for our minds, and sometimes for the people around us. So we can encourage slow yoga practice to reflect that slow release of energy over the 7 days. And whilst you may be feeling lethargic within your body, you can definitely still nourish your body by capitalizing on your deep state of mind. This powerful stage in your cycle is great for meditation. And today we'll run through Yoga Nidra, yogic sleep. So we are lying here, we're alert, we're present, we are hopefully awake. Yet we'll find this deep sense of relaxation, which is similar to the state achieved in REM, our deepest form of sleep. So if you follow my guided meditation for the next 10 minutes or so, feel yourself surrendering into this yogic sleep, this yoga nidra. So whilst you're lying there on the mat, whichever chosen form of shavasana you've taken, we need to inhale deeply through the nose and exhale, really audible exhale, let everything go. We'll do one more just like that. So inhale deeply through the nose and exhale. Allow yourself to soften. Perhaps feel yourself become heavier. Dropping down into the safety of your yoga mat. You are here now, and this is your space. You are here now, and this is your space. Soften the forehead, allowing any wrinkles that may have crept onto the forehead to smooth themselves out. Relaxing that space in between the eyebrows. Soften the temples. Allow the eyes to be heavy into the back of your skull. Relaxing the jaw. Creating maybe a tiny bit of space between the top and the bottom teeth. And relax the shoulders. Become aware of the back of the shoulders connected to the ground. Become aware of the collarbones smiling up to the ceiling. Relaxing the upper right arm. That tricep become really heavy. Relaxing the bottom right arm. And then relaxing the right hand. No need to make the hand take any shape, just allow it to be. And then becoming aware of the upper left arm. And again, just asking it to be super heavy. Relaxing the bottom of the left arm and the left hand. Not forcing it into any shape, just allowing it to be. Relaxing across the chest. Allow the ribcage to move freely with the breath. And then let those hips really root down. Super heavy hips. Relaxing the right thigh. Feeling it grounded. Relaxing the right knee. Make sure you're not holding on to any kind of bend here. And relax the right shin, the lower leg. And relaxing the right foot. Letting the right little toe flop to one side. And relaxing the left leg. Left thigh, begin at the top of the leg. Just ask it to be nice and loose, super heavy. Relaxing the left knee. And let go of that lower left leg. Letting the left little toes roll to one side. And then relaxing the entire front of the body. Let that front body feel open, expanding, limitless. And then relaxing the entire back body. Feeling it connected to the ground. Rooted to the earth. Safe. Connected. And then watching the breath. Noticing where you sense this breath. Maybe it's from the lower belly. Maybe you can feel it around the chest, around the heart space. Maybe you can sense the gentle flow of air moving through your nostrils. Staying focused on whichever sensation of the breath that you can identify within your body. Feeling the gentle flow of life, of your prana and your life force. Beginning to awaken from our meditation and our deep sense of yogic sleep. We'll begin to deepen these breaths now. So pulling in bigger inhales and exhales. And then when you're ready, reaching the arms up and overhead, giving yourself a big stretch in this lay down position. And then rolling over to one side, whether that's your left or your right side, coming into a fetal position on the floor. Just take a few moments to thank yourself for showing up today to this workshop, for learning about the unique female infradian rhythm, which can literally influence our lives, our moods, our mindsets, helping us harness our hormones for the benefit of ourselves rather than entering this sort of hating relationship with hormones. Pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position when you're ready to find that tall, long spine. Maybe it's where we were right at the start of the session today. Bringing your hands together in heart center in Anjali Mudra, and press the thumbs in towards your sternum and maybe bow the forehead towards the fingertips. So I hope that in sharing this workshop with you today that you have learned maybe a bit more about yoga practices, the different styles and linears of yoga, and how we can tailor these to reflect our infradian rhythm, that natural miracle and circle of the female life for 3 decades. And whilst we're here now in this moment of reflection, I just want you to promise yourself that you will be kind to yourself. The next time you feel like you don't want to starve yourself, or you maybe want to give yourself a rest, that you make a pledge now to do that. Taking an inhale through the nose, and exhale, sigh out through the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day ahead of you. Jai.